Hello everyone. This is the 7th part of the Adobe After Effects software tutorials that I teach you. In this video, we will edit the footage using different tools. Also, through shortcuts, you will learn to access transform settings faster. First, I import a video. I drag this video in the timeline to create a composition. In the previous lessons, I said that if we want to make any footage smaller or bigger, we first select the layer and change its size by dragging these squares that are on the edges of the footage. And if we hold down the Shift button at the same time, the size of the footage will change accordingly. Also, in the transform section of each layer, I zoom in or out by changing the numbers of the scale option. So we change the size of the image both manually and using the scale option. Just remember to select the desired layer first, and then you can apply the changes. By pressing the reset button in the transform section, the footage settings will return to the default state. To save time, you don't need to keep opening the transform section to make changes to each layer. Just click on the desired layer and, for example, press the letter S on the keyboard to activate the scale option for that layer. If I press the letter S again, the scale option will be hidden. To rotate the footage, press the letter R on the keyboard to activate the rotation option. Now you can determine the rotation rate. To hide the rotation option, press the R button on the keyboard again. If I press the letter P on the keyboard, the position option is activated and I can change the position. By pressing the T button on the keyboard, the opacity option is activated, and by changing its value, we can change the opacity of the footage. By pressing the A button, the anchor point option is activated. We can determine its location. I have taught all these options completely in the previous lessons. Now, if I want to activate both the scale option and the position option at the same time, I press the S button to activate the scale and then hold the Shift button on the keyboard and press the P button. In this way, both the scale option and the position option is activated. Now we can make the desired changes for both options. We repeat the same process to add the rest of the options. Now let's explore some editing tools together. The selection tool is always active by default, which we can use to select different options in the software environment or change the location of the footage using it. Using the hand tool, we can move in the composition panel by holding the left click and moving the mouse. If I zoom a little with the magnification ratio pop-up, I move to other parts that are out of the frame with the hand tool. We can zoom with the zoom tool. At any point in the footage, if I put the zoom mark and left click, it zooms toward the desired point. If I hold the Alt button at the same time, it zooms out. Also, by dragging the mouse in the desired part of the footage, it zooms only on that part. The next tool is rotation, which is used to rotate the image. By dragging on the footage, the rotation is done from where the anchor point is. To return the footage to its previous state, I hold down the Control button and double-click the rotation tool. Now suppose we want the footage to rotate from the corner of the image. For this, I first select the Pan Behind tool and move the anchor point to the corner of the image. Now I rotate the footage using the rotation tool. You can see that rotation is done from the corner of the image. To return the anchor point to the center of the footage, I hold the Control key and double-click the Pan Behind tool. Also, to access the transform options, we can right-click on the footage and select different options from the transform section. I hit the reset button to reset everything back to default. There are other tools in the toolbar section, each of which requires separate training, which we will discuss in the next training. Friends, this part of the training is over. Please like the video and leave a comment for me. To see the continuation of the training, please subscribe, so I'll see you next time.